This is a James Poeartistry consultant moment. This is a topic about Gene Roddenberry on the Spaceship Poeartistry moment. Hello, perceptive readers. This is James Lynch, and I want to talk about Gene Roddenberry. You know, a writer may go through a phase in their life, maybe more than one writer. That's why I said a writer or writers may go through a phase where everything is just moving. The creative ideals are going about in the mind. Now, I mention that because for years, on and off, I got to tell you something I actually meditated on, and even comedians meditated on this before. I heard one in particular, this is years ago, and I apologize, I can't even remember the comedian name. I guess that's how sometimes they say, ooh, see, the jokes got stolen that way or whatever. Or whatever. But no, I used to wonder when, from the original series of Star Trek, how all of a sudden it seemed like the older Gene Roddenberry got, and also the even after death, it was like stories and ideals were continuing to come out. And one comedian even joked about, boy, what's in that desk? And, I'm not going to tell the whole stitch of the joke that the comedian did, but this was the whole point of meditation. Because I used to think about, I used to say sometimes to myself, when did this man have all this time and creative juices, in his mind, I like to say that, to just be always coming out? And then for him to actually write down enough that they could always create an extended series on it from this and that. I'm not going to even run down some of the series that you don't even hear about on TV as much no more, or even books. But they have given credit, to Gene Roddenberry. Well, that's what I want to mention when I say there's phases that writers have gone through, because I can understand now how Gene could actually do that. I can actually understand how, even though he was working on Star Trek series, the original, and then during that time of the Next Generation, he was still putting out sci-fi ideas left and right. And I really do understand that now. Do you writers know what I'm talking about without going into details? So just for this Spaceship Poeartistry moment, I always mention about keep your imagination. And you keep your imagination, boy, I tell you what, even for the next 50 to 100 years, you see, if you can still write, you'll still be having fluent, interesting, insightful ideas creatively, and I would say scientifically, to keep you thriving, to keep you looking forward to life. You see, and that's what I just want to share. Okay, well, I'll go ahead and put it on myself. Take James Poeartistry Productions. I already know, really, just for this year alone, what I want to do. But the whole point is, I have all these ideas, and I don't even write them down anymore. But I have all these different ideas and concepts that, I would love to, dive into. And the thing about it is, maybe in the summer or something like that, maybe, I may write some down here and there, or, just for myself, or depending on what type of state-of-the-art equipment that I have, because, that's a motivation in itself. You know, Gene Roddenberry, he used the typewriter to put out all those ideas in scripture, you see. Oh, and also a writing pen and, and pad. But all the same, we have technology today that, boy, if Gene Roddenberry would have had the level of computers, the type that we have now, because remember, when he was already starting to go down in health, the PC and everything of that nature was really just starting to be formed in the way that people would want it in every household, you see. But it was still nothing like what we have today. I tell you what, the technology, when you have what is designed for you, what you want for yourself, you see, your equipment, let me tell you, you can be a machine in yourself. And I mean that in a good way. I mean that in a good way. The same way that John Henry just had that tool of that hammer that he used to get through that, you see, mountain as he was going up against the steam engine. Well, there's still wonderful technology that we have today, that when you can get the software that you want, when you get the power in the processors that you want, and then I'm big on this, and then you got the security surrounding it too, you'll turn into a marvelous artistic poeartistry machine, you see. And again, I mean that in a human way. No transhumanism, no nothing, just the way that you're able to work with that tool. And it's really your mind that's actually creating the energy, the synergy, the steam for it. That, and of course, what you feed it, which I would encourage, side note, fruits, vegetables, oranges, trail mix, apples, all that type of stuff. Yes, as a writer, you should be eating that stuff every day, or at least don't go a week without it if you can. You see. So anyway, thank you for being here on the Spaceship Poeartistry moment. And I just wanted to tell you in closing, I understand now, I comprehend why Gene was so prolific, if you will, even in his ideals, that he would jot down a script for this or that other persons other directors and producers, they ran with it even after he died, and they made millions of dollars off that in itself as well. Have a wonderful day, perceptive readers.